it looks like Drew McIntyre isn't exactly happy with some of the stuff that went down at the Royal Rumble. There was a bit of controversy, a bit of tension backstage, to say the least. We had this report from PW Insider, aggregated by Russell Purist, saying something went wrong with Drew's elimination from the men's Royal Rumble. When McIntyre returned to the back, he was screaming and cursing, and someone had to and said that someone had to get their moves in at the expense of a number of stories in the match. McIntyre pretty loudly stormed out of the building and was gone well before the match ended. Someone had to get their moves in. Okay. We also have this from Dave Meltzer, which I know many of you will crash out at the mere mention of his name, but let's just read it and see what happens. Even before the Drew McIntyre storming out story came out, I had heard it and somebody goes, don't worry, it's a work. And then that same person came back later and just goes, oh God, I just figured he was doing it because it was in front of everybody, and said that there's a guy that a lot of people were pissed at in the match with the idea that he was trying to get himself over and not the match over, and he was doing things. It's multiple people telling me the Drew thing. He wasn't very happy. It's not an angle. If they end up doing an angle with that person later, which there's no hints of anything, but the reason I heard it was because I heard Drew was not the only person unhappy with the situation. Okay. We don't know who the person is. I want to be clear. We don't know who the person is. And I see Baptized by Fire says, didn't he do the same thing when Punk came back? Yes, he did. Okay. Let's take a step back. Obviously, we weren't there. This is reporting from PW Insider and Wrestling Observer, both of whom, have like good credibility in my view. PW Insider, I think, right up there with Fightful as far as like the best and most credible. The thing is, Drew McIntyre is someone who's like spoken about this too. He's very passionate about what he does. And if he likes something, he will let you know. If he doesn't like something, he will also let you know. I definitely could see him being frustrated. I don't know which spot he's talking about in the match. I don't know what exactly may have went wrong. Only Drew knows that. But him being mad at someone trying to get their shtick in and multiple other people reportedly being mad, I think that where there's smoke in wrestling, there's usually fire. Now, I want to say this too. There is obviously a difference between, an initial situation of someone being very upset, which happened with Drew when the Punk situation happened. Like, he was not happy about Punk coming in and essentially like stealing a moment away from the people in that match. But he worked through it. And I could see this. I could see them working through this. I could see a situation where McIntyre and everyone else who may be upset about this situation comes back and says, you know what? I ain't happy about it. Let's make a good program. And WWE has like that ability to be like, all right, guys, like, let's do this. And I mean, a lot of people will say, like, oh man, why didn't AEW do that? Like, there's a clear difference between way WWE is perceived and the way AEW is perceived. And that's not even anything that's really, I think, in AEW's control. I think a lot of it is just WWE's been around for 50, 60 plus years, and they're an established brand. They're the dominant brand, and no one wants to piss off the dominant brand, and they show a little bit more respect for it. The Drew McIntyre elimination, as Baptized by Fire notes in the chat, is a little weird. They looked a little weird on TV. So maybe that played a role in this. But I do find it interesting that, this has come out, that multiple people are reporting this. I see a situation where this ends up becoming a work. Doesn't mean it is a work, but I see a situation where it ends up becoming a work. And look, Drew's there. Drew, like, it's not like Drew's gonna leave WWE over this. He is there. He signed a new contract, a multi-year contract last year. He's there for the long run, and it seems to be the case that Drew isn't going to, like he's not going to quit WWE over this, it seems, unless there's something deeper that we don't know. But it's interesting, man. I mean, he's spoken very openly about, like, he has like a real life, he's had real life disagreements with Punk. He's had real life disagreements with quite a few people in WWE. And at the end of the day, even though those disagreements happen, I think he's still always going to do business. Like, that's the thing about Drew. He's a professional. He's not going to go and, like, fight people backstage. He's not going to go and, like, call people out on the mic or whatever. He's always going to handle those things professionally. And that's the way he's always been. And, like, will he take shots when he's trying to work a feud? Of course. We saw him do that with CM Punk, and it led to the best story that WWE told in all of 2024. So, to me, I love it. I love Drew McIntyre's ability to turn that, like, that raw, visceral anger into something real, into something that's entertaining, into something that the masses enjoy. Because a lot of the best storytelling that happens in pro wrestling is really cool. Let's see. Drew McIntyre being eliminated from the Royal Rumble by Damian Priest as they seemingly bump into LA Knight and Logan Paul on the way. Oof. That may have been it, man. That may have been it. Maybe it was Logan Paul. Maybe it was Logan Paul. I mean, a lot of people don't like Logan Paul. I can tell you that. There's a lot of people who don't like Logan Paul. So maybe that's it. Allegedly. Drew needs a plan, having him chase for the IC championship or something. The whole I'm crazy thing isn't going anywhere. Look, man, start the alliance to end Roman Reigns. Have that main event mafia going with him, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins, and have them just cook those hateful promos. Damn, people fight backstage and call out on stage. I wonder who Homer is talking about. I mean, come on, man. Look, I'm just saying. I'm not saying it. I love CM Punk. God, man. Like, I want Joe to stop this. There is a narrative about me that I don't like CM Punk. CM Punk is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. I flew out to Chicago on my own dime, on a whim, that CM Punk was going to be there at Survivor Series. He wasn't advertised for that. We didn't know that was going to happen. It was speculated, but no one knew it was going to happen, and it didn't happen. It didn't come together until the day of. Bro, CM Punk's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. Shout out to that man. But he loves the crowd shout. Let's be honest, he loves the crowd shout. But, I mean, look, we don't know who it was, but it does seem like Drew McIntyre seems to be upset. I don't think this is going to go anywhere, but who knows, man? It's pro wrestling. Weirder things have happened. Let me know what you guys think, though, in the chat, in the comments. Be sure to leave that thumbs up, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.